In the annals of history, every great empire eventually meets its demise. The Romans, the Ottomans, and now, the Kansas City Chiefs. For 10 years, they were the golden standard of the NFL. Unstoppable, inevitable. But silence has finally fallen over Arrowhead Stadium. The roaring crowds have been replaced by the cold, biting wind of uncertainty. Andy Reid and his legion of warriors have seen their decade-long crusade come to a screeching, devastating halt. The 2025 season will not be remembered for glory, but for the sudden, violent collapse of a dynasty. After 10 consecutive playoff appearances, after hoisting the Lombardi Trophy 3 times in 5 years, the unthinkable has happened. The Chiefs are mortal. They are out. And they didn't just stumble. They fell into the abyss. Let the numbers sink in, because they paint a picture of absolute catastrophe. A record of 6 wins and 11 losses. It is a stat line that looks alien next to the Chiefs logo. But the horror doesn't stop there. The season concluded with a 6-game losing streak, a death spiral that no one saw coming. Week after week, fans watched in disbelief as the Giants turned into ghosts. The offense, once a machine of precision and terror, sputtered and died. The defense, usually bend but don't break, simply shattered. This wasn't a bad run. It was a systemic failure. The gatekeepers of the AFC have been dethroned, and the rest of the league smells blood in the water. The king is dead, and the kingdom is in flames.
But the record is merely a symptom of a much darker tragedy. The heart of the kingdom, the magician himself, Patrick Mahomes, lies broken. In December, the unthinkable occurred, a rupture of the anterior cruciate ligament, an ACL tear, the sentence that every athlete fears. Mahomes, the man who defied physics, who made the impossible look routine, is now human. He is grounded, likely until the start of the next season. The image of him limping off the field was not just an injury, it was a prophecy of the team's collapse. Without their general, the army lost its way. And now, the question that haunts every corner of Kansas City is simple yet terrifying. Will he ever be the same? Can a dynasty be rebuilt on a reconstructed knee?
When a ship begins to sink, the crew starts to look for the lifeboats. It isn't just Mahomes. The pillars of this temple are cracking. Travis Kelce, the greatest tight end of his generation, the safety valve, the icon, has completed his 13th season. But the whispers are growing louder. Is this the end? Is the chemistry that defined an era dissolving before our eyes? Rumors swirl that Kelce may be looking at the exit door, or perhaps retirement. And he isn't alone. Matt Nagy, the architect of the offense, is reportedly scouting for head coaching opportunities. The brain trust is fracturing. If Kelce leaves and Nagy departs, and Mahomes is rehabilitating, who is left to carry the torch? In the midst of this chaos, the front office has begun the grim work of the executioner. The first head has rolled. Tanner McCalister, a safety from Ohio State, undrafted, a man fighting for his life in the league. He came to Kansas City in December, a glimmer of hope, a body to throw into the breach. But hope is a cruel mistress. After the disastrous loss to the Raiders, the Chiefs made their move. They didn't wait for the dust to settle. They cut the cord. McCalister, just 25 years old, was released. His contract rescinded. It is a small move in the grand scheme, but it sends a massive signal. No one is safe. The sentimental days are over. Ruthlessness is the new law of the land. Why cut a practice squad safety now? Because symbols matter. McCalister represents the failed experiments of 2025. He represents the desperate grasping for straws that defined the end of the season. By removing him, the Chiefs are exorcising the demons of this 6-11 nightmare. He barely saw the field, yet his departure is the first bell tolling for the new era. It is a cold, calculated business decision. The Chiefs are clearing the decks. They are stripping the roster down to the studs. This isn't a renovation, it is a demolition. And while McCalister looks for work, the Chiefs turn their gaze to the unknown. From the ashes, new seeds are planted. While showing the door to the old, Kansas City has signed 4 men to reserve/future contracts. Names you may not know, but names you must learn. Com Arnold, the linebacker, Marcus Harris, the defensive tackle, Jimmy Holiday, the wide receiver, Matt Waletzko, the offensive tackle. Who are they? They are the hungry, the overlooked, the desperate. The Chiefs are betting on hunger over experience. They need men who haven't tasted the champagne of the Super Bowl, but the dirt of the practice squad. These are the soldiers for the rebuilding. It is a gamble, but when you have fallen this far, the only way is up.
But there is a silver lining in this storm cloud, a prize for the suffering. With a record of 6-11, the Kansas City Chiefs have secured the 9th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, a top 10 pick. It has been an eternity since this franchise drafted this high. This is the ammunition Brett Veach needs. This is the chance to draft a generational talent, a new pillar to place beside a recovering Mahomes. The draft war room will be a place of immense pressure. They cannot miss. This pick must be a home run. The future of the next 5 years depends on what they do with that number 9 selection.
And what of the old wizard, Andy Reid, the man with the mustache and the menu? He stands amidst the wreckage, not with despair, but with a strange resolve. He speaks of a good core. He speaks of a fresh start. Is this denial, or is it vision? Reid is ready to hand the keys to General Manager Brett Veach for the offseason. It's a new beginning here, Reid says. His voice does not waver. He has seen dynasties rise and fall before. He knows that to build a skyscraper, sometimes you must dig a deep hole. The 2025 season was the hole. Now, the construction begins.
The 2026 offseason will be the most critical in Kansas City history. The roster is bleeding. The quarterback is broken. The legends are aging. But the Chiefs are not dead. They are dormant. They are wounded animals, and that makes them dangerous. The league is laughing now. The Raiders are celebrating. But winter is coming, and the Chiefs are preparing for a long, cold regeneration. Will they return to the mountaintop, or will they fade into mediocrity like so many before them? The script is being written, and the ink is blood. Stay tuned, because the resurrection, or the funeral, begins now.